Today I am at the graveyard again, and I am live on Facebook, and I am recording for a YouTube video. Yes, can you believe that? I'm doing two things at the same time, and I'm doing this for a reason. There seems to be much confusion. I'm talking about a lot of confusion. And God has confused a lot of people with his wisdom. How do I know that? You shouldn't even have to ask. But today, I am at the graveyard making a video, and I am live on Facebook. So I should not have to share this video. No, I shouldn't on Facebook. Because if you see it, you can watch it. I am who I am. You are who you are. Jesus is who he is. And God is the Father of spirits. There is no spirit that can come into existence without God. It's not possible. But with God, all things are possible. Now, do I know everything about spirits? I would suppose you would understand that if I said I did, I would be a liar, because I don't. But I do understand some things of the spirit, which it's, quite obvious that some don't. But that does not mean that you cannot learn. If you could not learn, there would be no need of me speaking. If you cannot learn, there's nothing I can do for you. No, there's not. Absolutely nothing I can do for you if you refuse to learn. Now, God is the Spirit that created all things by his power. Now, did you get that? Now, don't get confused. Somebody said, well, Bob, you don't talk fast enough, so I'll try to talk fast enough for somebody. Did I do it good? God does not want us ignorant. If he does want us ignorant, it's for a period of time so that we can learn something. I was ignorant. There's no doubt about it. I did not know a thing. And until God started teaching me something, I didn't know a whole lot. But God has been teaching me for years, and I'm old enough, because my hair's gray, so I should be able to, have some kind of words that might, have some wisdom to it. I am a son of God. How did I get to be one? The only way that you can become, like me, a son of God, is God will have to give and put in you his spirit. God's spirit. The one that if you read in a book, Bible, you can see on page 1, the Spirit of God was over the surface of the deep. Now, don't ask me what the deep is. It doesn't matter what the deep is. Just understand that the Spirit of God was over it. I can read it for you, I mean, I've got the book. This is the book that God told me to buy. So I bought the book. And I've been reading the book ever since God told me to buy it. I sure have. So if I tell you to go buy you a book and you don't go buy it, then you won't have it. But I got a book right here. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, folks, don't argue to hell about that. Don't argue to hell and back with it, okay? It's no need to argue to hell and back with the devil. Well, Bob, why are you getting upset? I'm not upset. I just don't want you to waste your time arguing with the devil about something that there's no need to argue with him about. God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was formless and void, or the face was formless and void. Whatever you want to call it, get you a Bible and read it. I'll just read from this one. The earth was formless and void. And it's got a note that it was a waste. A waste. Well, God can take a waste and make something of it, evidently. The earth was, and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters. Now, folks, you can't screw that up unless you start listening to the devil. If you listen to the devil, you will get screwed up. I hope you understand what screwed up means. I mean, it's just not good to be screwed up. You need to know the truth so that you can understand something and believe something and move on and not wind up like the devil. Well, how'd the devil wind up? He got cursed. He got cursed for talking to Adam's wife. Yeah, he did. And the ground got cursed because of Adam eating with his wife. Now, God said, let there be. So there was. But what I want people to understand today is that God gives life and breath to everything that breathes. Everything that breathes has not been, let me say what, like Jesus. Jesus was just exactly like me, in that he was born, he breathed, he ate, he grew. He was like me. Does that mean anything? Yes, that means Jesus was like me and like you. He was born by a woman. He lived on the earth, and God loved him just as much as he loved, I would say, Adam. I could be wrong, but I could be right. Now, what do I want people to know today? God is now declaring that he is going to have the world judged by a man whom he has raised from the dead. I have not been raised from the dead. I'm in the graveyard here. I haven't seen anybody come up out of one of these graves. Years ago, Jesus was put in a tomb and he was dead. He came out of the tomb alive. He went to heaven to be with God for a very short period of time. And then he was seen again on the earth by certain men that God allowed him to meet with. He didn't meet with an Indian in the United States, but he met with a lot of disciples around Jerusalem. I wish a lot of things, but one thing I wish most of all is that people would believe God. God has created. Jesus was formed in the womb of a woman by what God has in women, what you can call seed. There is the seed of the woman. And this seed of Mary produced a child that was fathered by God Almighty. That means this child was fathered by God Almighty. And if you want to be a child of God, it will be because God decides, to make you one. And the only way he can make you one is to put the Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead in you, and then you will become a child of God by the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. I have received the Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. I am going to preach, and I do preach, and I speak words. If you cannot believe my words, then I can say as Jesus did. And if you want to know what Jesus said, then get you a Bible and read it. If you are of the world, you might want to figure out how to get out of the world and get into Christ so that you can live. But God is the only one who can kill and cast into hell, so don't get the idea that I can. Thank you for watching.